The story opens with a man who appears unnaturally calm in the face of death. This man is Gabimaru the Hollow, a feared assassin from the Iwagakure ninja clan. His nickname, the Hollow, comes from the belief that he feels nothing, no mercy, no hesitation, no emotion. A perfect killing machine. But beneath that cold expression lies something no one around him can see. Gabimaru has been captured and sentenced to execution for attempting to leave his village. The authorities believe killing him will be simple, yet every execution method they try ends in failure. Blades break, fire cannot burn him, ropes snap, even the force of being pulled apart cannot kill him. Without lifting a finger to defend himself, Gabimaru survives it all. To the executioners, it is unnatural. To Gabimaru, it is something he wishes were different, because despite saying he wants to die, his body refuses. Deep down, he still wants to live. Amid this confusion, a calm yet sharp-eyed woman observes him closely. She is Yamada Asayamon Sagiri, an elite executioner from the Yamada clan, renowned for precision and skill. Unlike the other guards, Sagiri sees through Gabimaru's words. She believes that although he claims to be empty, his actions betray a desperate will to live. During their conversations, Sagiri presses him relentlessly, demanding the truth behind his desire to abandon his village. Slowly, the wall around his emotions begins to crack. Finally, Gabimaru reveals what he has been hiding. He speaks about his wife, the daughter of the Iwagakure chief. Unlike the ruthless people of the village, she was gentle, patient, and full of kindness. She accepted Gabimaru without fear, without judgment. Through her, he learned what it meant to be human. She showed him warmth he had never known and gave him a reason to dream of a life beyond killing. Because of her, Gabimaru began to want something different, a peaceful life, a life where he could live without bloodshed. But when the village chief learned of his desire to leave, he branded him a traitor. Through deception, Gabimaru was captured and sentenced to death. Sagiri realizes that Gabimaru is not a man devoid of emotion. He is someone who has lived in darkness for so long that he doesn't know how to admit what he truly wants. He wants to live, but feels guilty for wanting it. After witnessing his inhuman resilience and uncovering his emotional conflict, Sagiri finally reveals the real reason she came. All the failed executions were tests. The government has identified a mysterious island believed to be a paradise, but every expedition sent there has returned as grotesque, twisted corpses. This place is rumored to hold the elixir of life, a mythical substance said to grant immortality. To retrieve it, the authorities plan to send criminals with extraordinary abilities, people who can survive where ordinary men cannot. And then she gives Gabimaru the offer that will change everything. If he accepts the mission and returns with the elixir, he will be granted a full pardon, his crimes erased, his freedom restored. He will be able to return to the one person who ever showed him love. For the first time, Gabimaru's expression softens. The truth he has been denying finally slips out. He wants to live. He wants to go back. He is not hollow. The episode concludes with Gabimaru accepting the mission, not for glory, not for revenge, but for the chance to reunite with his wife, to reclaim the life he was denied. Ahead of him lies a deadly island, a place said to be both heaven and hell, a place where the boundary between life and death disappears. Thus begins the journey of Hell's Paradise. Episode 2 begins by expanding the world beyond Gabimaru. We are introduced to the structure of the Yamada Asaemon clan, the elite executioners responsible for judging and eliminating criminals across the country. Their precision, discipline, and strict adherence to duty make them ideal arbiters for the mission the government is planning. Gabimaru has been formally selected as one of the candidates for the expedition to the mysterious island believed to hold the elixir of life. But he is far from the only one. The shogunate has gathered dozens of criminals, murderers, thieves, assassins, and warriors with deadly skills. Every one of them is dangerous, unpredictable, and condemned to death. They are all given the same offer: bring back the elixir of life, and they will receive complete pardon. But before anyone is allowed to step foot on the island, the authorities must narrow down the candidates. Only a select chosen few will join the official mission. To oversee this dangerous group, each criminal is assigned a personal monitor, an Asaemon executioner whose purpose is simple: observe, control, and if necessary, kill them. Gabimaru is paired with Sagiri, reinforcing the connection established in the previous episode. She is determined to understand him and to keep him in check. But as their partnership develops, she begins to question her own judgment. The criminals are gathered in a large courtyard, surrounded by guards and executioners. The atmosphere is tense. Every prisoner there is a walking storm, violent, unpredictable, and ready to kill if given the chance. Some criminals boast loudly about their strength. Others laugh at the thought of the mission, eager for chaos and bloodshed. Gabimaru, however, remains silent and observant. Then the officials announce the rule that shocks everyone. Only a limited number of criminals will be chosen, and the final selection will be determined through combat. In other words, they are expected to kill each other. The courtyard erupts into immediate violence. What follows is a brutal demonstration of the criminals' abilities. Bodies fall, blood spills, those who hesitate are instantly eliminated. The Asaemon executioners watch calmly, stepping in only to kill criminals who lose control or attack their assigned monitors. Amid the chaos, Sagiri keeps her eyes on Gabimaru. She wants to understand whether he will revert to his old nature, the ruthless assassin known for merciless killing, or whether his desire to live a peaceful life will restrain him. But as enemies surround him, Gabimaru realizes something. If he holds back, he dies. And if he dies, he loses his chance to return to his wife. With swift precision and overwhelming strength, Gabimaru fights. His movements are efficient, deadly, and impossibly fast. He takes down several criminals without hesitation, but not out of cruelty. Every blow he delivers is calculated, purposeful, done only because survival demands it. Sagiri observes that even in battle, Gabimaru is conflicted. His body knows how to kill. His heart wishes he didn't have to. As the fight continues, the number of survivors quickly shrinks. Some criminals reveal their monstrous strength. Others display unique techniques or abnormal endurance. Each of them represents a different kind of danger, exactly the type of person the shogunate needs for this deadly expedition. When the battle ends, The survivors stand bloodied but alive. These are the criminals strong enough and desperate enough to be sent to the island. Finally, the government official announces the name of the destination, Shinsenkyo, the mythical island believed to be paradise. But everyone in the room knows the truth. Paradise does not exist. And if it does, it is guarded by horrors no human has ever survived. As preparations begin for the voyage, Sagiri reflects on Gabimaru's strength and his inner turmoil. She knows he is powerful enough to survive what lies ahead, but she also knows his emotions may become his greatest weakness. Gabimaru, meanwhile, clings to the image of his wife. Every move he makes, every breath he takes, is for the promise of returning to her. The island may be hell on earth, but he is ready to face it if it means he can go home. The episode closes with the chosen criminals, each accompanied by their animaan executioner, setting sail toward the unknown. The ocean stretches endlessly before them, as if warning them of the nightmare awaiting on the other side. The journey to Hell's Paradise has officially begun. Episode 3 opens with the group of selected criminals sailing toward the mysterious island known as Shinsenkyo. The journey has only just begun, but tension fills the air. Every criminal on the boat knows that this mission is their only chance at freedom, and also a near-certain death sentence. Gabimaru sits quietly, still chained, with Sagiri monitoring him closely. She is alert, cautious, and aware that at any moment, violence could erupt. The criminals are unpredictable, and not all of them care about the promise of a pardon. Some simply want chaos. As the ship moves through the misty waters, the prisoners begin taunting one another. Some boast about surviving the massacre from the previous episode. Others laugh wildly, eager to spill more blood. Their animaan monitors stand watch, gripping their swords, ready to kill if a criminal becomes uncontrollable. But trouble breaks out sooner than expected. A large, violent criminal attempts to overthrow his assigned animaan. He believes that once he kills the executioner, he will be free to escape the mission entirely. His laughter echoes across the deck as he lunges forward. But the man's confidence lasts only a second. With cold precision, his animaan slices him down in a single motion. This moment sets the tone. Any criminal who defies the rules will die instantly. There is no mercy, no tolerance, and no negotiation. Meanwhile, Gabimaru studies the behavior of the criminals and the executioners around him. He sees the dynamic clearly. This mission isn't just a quest. It's a test of who can remain sane in a situation where death feels closer than life. Soon after, the fog clears, and the crew catches their first glimpse of the island. Shinsenkyo appears breathtakingly beautiful. Towering trees, glowing flowers, and colorful butterflies float gently in the air. It looks like a peaceful paradise untouched by war or human corruption. But everyone remembers the corpses that washed ashore in previous expeditions, bodies twisted into grotesque shapes, fused with plants and flowers. Something horrifying lies beneath this beauty. As the criminals are unloaded onto small boats and transported toward the shore, the animaan executioners reiterate the rules. Each criminal must remain with their assigned monitor at all times. No wandering off, no attacking others. Any attempt to escape or kill will be met with immediate execution. After arriving on land, the group takes its first steps into the stunning landscape. The colors feel unreal. The air is warm and fragrant. It truly appears like paradise. But within moments, the illusion shatters. The group discovers a corpse near the shoreline. It looks human, but its body has fused with flowers and roots that bloom out of its skin, distorting the corpse into a grotesque, unnatural form. The sight sends chills through even the most hardened criminals. For Gabimaru, this is confirmation that the island is far deadlier than expected. As they travel deeper inland, the group is attacked by bizarre, monstrous creatures, abominations that resemble a mixture of animals, humans, and living statues. Their shapes defy logic, as though created by a twisted force that mimics life, but does not understand it. The first attack is sudden and brutal. A giant creature erupts from the ground, swallowing one criminal whole. Panic spreads immediately. Some criminals try to run, others attempt to fight, but the animaan executioners remain calm, cutting down any threat with swift, practiced movements. Gabimaru steps forward and engages the creature. Despite its size and strength, his ninja skills allow him to strike with extreme speed and precision. His determination to survive, to return to his wife, pushes him beyond his limits. Sagiri watches him closely during the battle. She notices something important. Gabimaru fights with the intent to live, not the intent to kill. His strikes are efficient, controlled, and never fueled by bloodlust. Even in the face of monstrous enemies, he holds on to his humanity. When the creature falls, the survivors take a moment to breathe, realizing that this island is filled with living nightmares. Around them, the paradise-like beauty feels more sinister now, less like a gift and more like a trap. The criminals begin to scatter despite orders, each believing they can claim the elixir of life on their own. Greed and fear take over. The animaan executioners chase after their assigned criminals, trying to maintain control. Sagiri warns Gabimaru not to stray from her side. She knows he is powerful, but she also knows the island is unpredictable. Gabimaru reluctantly agrees, but his focus remains on survival. If the island wants to kill him, he will not die easily. The episode concludes with the remaining pairs disappearing into the lush wilderness, preparing for the horrors ahead. The true nature of Shinsenkyo has only just begun to reveal itself. Hell's paradise is no paradise at all. It is a beautiful, deadly hell. Episode 4 begins deep within the dangerous wilderness of Shinsenkyo. After the initial chaos on the shoreline, the surviving criminals and their assigned animaan executioners have scattered across the island, each group trying to find safety and understand this strange place. Gabimaru and Sagiri move cautiously through the vibrant yet unsettling landscape. The island's beauty still feels deceptive. Flowers glow unnaturally. Trees twist in unnatural shapes. Strange, distant sounds echo from the forest, as though the island itself is alive. Gabimaru studies everything with the mind of a seasoned shinobi. He notices unusual footprints and traces of creatures he cannot identify. Sagiri, though skilled, feels the weight of responsibility. As Gabimaru's monitor, she must judge him fairly, while keeping him alive long enough to complete the mission. Their quiet exploration is interrupted when they come across a group of other criminals. Some have already died, their bodies twisted into grotesque shapes, similar to the earlier corpses, half human, half plant. This confirms a terrifying truth. The island isn't just filled with monsters, it transforms the dead into something else entirely. As they continue forward, Gabimaru is confronted by two criminals who have been stalking them. Believing that killing him will reduce competition for the elixir, the criminals attack. They underestimate his strength. Gabimaru defeats them swiftly and decisively. But instead of killing them, he leaves them alive. This confuses Sagiri. The old Gabimaru would have eliminated any threat instantly. But this Gabimaru hesitates because he wants to live, and living means no longer murdering without reason. Sagiri questions whether such hesitation might endanger him. Gabimaru argues that killing without purpose is against the new path he wants to follow. Their differing philosophies begin to clash, but this tension reveals something important. Both of them are growing, both learning to understand the other. The episode shifts focus to another pair. Aza Chobe, a ruthless bandit leader known as the Bandit King, and his younger brother, Aza Toma. Unlike most criminals who fear their animaan monitors, Chobe shows open dominance, threatening his own executioner and displaying extreme confidence. Chobe and Toma encounter one of the island's monstrous creatures, a giant humanoid-like being made of stone and flesh, decorated with multiple faces. Instead of fleeing, Chobe charges into battle with reckless ferocity. His brutal strength and combat instincts reveal why he is considered one of the most dangerous criminals on the island. However, even he struggles against the creature. Shinsenkyo is not a place where raw physical strength is enough to survive. Toma rushes in to help his brother, showing their powerful bond. Together, they manage to defeat the monster, but not without difficulty. This moment demonstrates that the strongest humans can still be overwhelmed here. The island is an enemy unlike any they have ever faced. Meanwhile, Gabimaru and Sagiri encounter another animaan, Yamada animaan Fuchi, accompanied by a young criminal known as Yuzuriha, a kunoichi from the Iwagake rival faction. She is seductive, cunning, and manipulative, a dangerous mixture on an island where alliances are fragile. Yuzuriha tries to charm Gabimaru, subtly probing his motives and weaknesses. Sagiri watches her closely, aware that Yuzuriha's friendly manner is only a facade. Fuchi warns everyone present that alliances will only last as long as they are convenient. On this island, trust is fragile and betrayal is certain. Yuzuriha eventually leaves, but not before planting a seed of doubt in Sagiri's mind. The episode then shifts back to Gabimaru. As night begins to fall, he reflects on his wife, the reason he fights to survive. Her gentle smile and soft words echo in his mind, reminding him that his life has a purpose greater than violence. Finally, the night reveals a terrifying aspect of Shinsenkyo. Strange glowing lights float through the air. Unidentified creatures wander silently between the trees. The island becomes even more dangerous after dark. Gabimaru and Sagiri take shelter, preparing for whatever the night may bring. Sagiri begins to understand the depth of Gabimaru's resolve, but she also recognizes that protecting him will be more difficult than she ever imagined. The episode ends with a chilling reminder. Survival on this island is not guaranteed. The horrors of Shinsenkyo are only beginning to awaken. Episode 5 begins with the unsettling quiet of early morning on Shinsenkyo. The island looks peaceful on the surface, but every survivor knows the truth. The beauty hides something far more sinister. Deadly creatures roam freely, and the environment itself seems hostile to human life. Gabimaru and Sagiri cautiously continue their exploration. Despite the dangers, Gabimaru remains focused on his goal, to return to his wife. This determination is what drives him to push forward, no matter what the island throws at him. As they travel deeper into the forest, they come across more evidence that Shinsen-kyo is unlike any place they've seen before. Plants grow in unnatural shapes. Statues resembling gods and demons stand scattered across the terrain. These stone figures have strange, human-like proportions, as if carved by something that does not fully understand the human form. Sagiri studies the statues closely. She notices that some appear ancient, while others look newly formed, as though the island is constantly reshaping itself. This realization unsettles her even further. The quiet is broken when a grotesque creature attacks. It resembles a giant human face fused with limbs and plant matter. Gabimaru reacts instantly, engaging in a fierce battle. The monster's movements are unpredictable, almost animalistic, yet with a strange intelligence behind them. Gabimaru unleashes his ninjutsu techniques, using both agility and power to subdue the beast. When he finally destroys it, the creature dissolves into petals and vines, leaving behind no normal body, another reminder that the island defies natural law. After the fight, Gabimaru collapses briefly, exhausted. Sagiri checks on him and witnesses his vulnerability. For all his strength, he is not invincible. He is human, something she is beginning to see more clearly with each passing hour. Their moment of rest is interrupted by the arrival of Yuzuriha, the elusive kunoichi. She approaches them casually, claiming she wants to form a temporary alliance. Gabimaru immediately distrusts her. Sagiri remains cautious, knowing Yuzuriha's smiles hide manipulation. Yuzuriha, however, brings valuable information. She reveals that a group of criminals has already been killed by even stranger creatures, ones that resemble gods or guardians. She calls them Tensen, though at this point, neither Gabimaru nor Sagiri fully understand the significance of this word. Yuzuriha's knowledge suggests that the island holds a hierarchy of monsters, some far more dangerous than the ones seen so far. Despite her suspicious nature, Gabimaru realizes that information will be essential for survival. He reluctantly agrees to a temporary alliance, but he reminds Yuzuriha that he will not tolerate betrayal. She simply laughs, promising nothing. The focus then shifts to another group, Chobei and Toma. After barely surviving a previous fight, they continue pushing deeper into the island. Chobei's brutal strength and reckless confidence keep them alive, but only barely. They encounter more disturbing creatures, twisted hybrids of animals and statues, and Chobei defeats them with sheer force. But something happens. During one of the battles, Chobei receives a severe wound. The island's strange flora reacts to his blood, causing rapid, unnatural healing. Toma is shocked. Chobei, however, sees this not as a curse, but as proof that the island holds secrets he could exploit. Back with Gabimaru, Sagiri notices the emotional burden he carries. She confronts him about the conflict between his desire to live peacefully and the violence he must commit to survive. Gabimaru admits the truth. Every time he kills, he feels further from the life he dreams of. But if he hesitates, he will die before reaching his wife again. This vulnerability allows Sagiri to understand him more deeply. She acknowledges her own struggle, balancing her duty as an executioner with her compassionate heart. Their conversation is cut short by another discovery. A field filled with countless bodies, both human and creature, merged with flowers, roots, and vines. They died recently, and all of them show signs of immense suffering before they were absorbed by the island. The sight confirms one thing. Someone or something on this island is systematically killing intruders. The episode ends with a foreboding sense of dread. Gabimaru, Sagiri, Yuzuriha, and the other survivors have barely scratched the surface of Shinsen-kyo's true horrors. Ahead of them lies not just monsters, but a deeper, more intelligent force. The island is alive, and it is watching them.
Gabimaru and Saigiri continue their dangerous exploration of the island, now fully aware that this place is far beyond any legend or rumor they've heard. What was once believed to be a simple quest for the elixir of life is slowly revealing itself as a journey into a living nightmare. The strange creatures, the unpredictable terrain, and the eerie sense of being watched begin to weigh heavily on both of them. As they make their way deeper into the island's interior, the landscape starts to shift in unnatural ways. Trees grow in twisted forms, rivers bend against gravity, and even the air feels thick with a presence that cannot be explained. The pair remain focused, but they know that every step carries new dangers. Elsewhere on the island, the other convicts continue their desperate battles for survival. Tenza and Nurugai are confronted by a monstrous creature that defies comprehension. Despite its grotesque appearance, it seems to possess an almost human-like intelligence. Tenza fights fiercely, but even he struggles against the creature's speed and strength. Nurugai, still inexperienced, watches in fear but also determination. She refuses to be a burden, and her resolve begins to take shape. Meanwhile, the situation for Chobei and his brother Toma grows even more dire. After narrowly escaping several deadly encounters, Chobei's injuries begin to worsen. His body shows signs of infection from the mysterious creatures they fought earlier. But instead of weakening him, the infection appears to be changing him, altering his strength, his reflexes, and even his senses. Toma worries about his brother's condition, but Chobei insists on pushing forward, driven by instinct and determination rather than reason. Back with Gabimaru and Saigiri, the two discover a destroyed settlement of what appears to be former explorers or island inhabitants. The bodies they find are neither fresh nor old. They seem preserved in a state between life and death. Saigiri examines them closely and realizes something terrifying. These people did not die from wounds or injury. They appear to have transformed, just like the half-human, half-flower creatures encountered earlier. The island is not simply home to monsters. It creates them. As the discovery sinks in, Gabimaru begins to question the true nature of the elixir of life. If it indeed exists, what kind of power does it hold? And at what cost does someone obtain eternal life on this island? Their thoughts are interrupted when a new figure suddenly approaches. A Tensen, one of the island's mysterious godlike beings, makes its presence known. Unlike the earlier monsters, this entity exudes an overwhelming sense of divinity and terror. Its appearance is serene, almost beautiful, yet every instinct warns of a deadly threat. Gabimaru immediately senses the difference. This being is far beyond anything they have encountered before. It speaks in a calm, emotionless manner, but the pressure of its presence nearly crushes the air around them. Saigiri's hand trembles on her sword. She knows that fighting such a being is suicide, yet running may also be impossible. The Tensen attacks without warning. Gabimaru reacts faster than thought, engaging with every ounce of skill he has. Fire erupts from his techniques, the ground scorches, and shockwaves tear through the forest. But despite the intensity of Gabimaru's strikes, the Tensen shows no injury. Its body regenerates instantly, treating deadly attacks as nothing more than gentle touches. Saigiri realizes the frightening truth. These beings cannot be fought the same way as normal opponents. Their existence follows different rules entirely. The Tensen continues its assault, shifting between forms with inhuman grace. Gabimaru begins to struggle as his stamina drains. For the first time in a long while, he feels fear, not just for himself, but for Saigiri. The thought of dying doesn't scare him, but the thought of leaving her vulnerable does. In a final desperate effort, Gabimaru unleashes one of his strongest techniques, creating enough force to momentarily push the Tensen back. The attack doesn't injure it, but it buys them a few precious seconds. Sagiri immediately guides Gabimaru away, urging him to retreat while they still have a chance. The Tensen watches them escape, uninterested in pursuing. To it, this encounter was nothing more than a momentary distraction. Breathing heavily, Gabimaru and Sagiri take refuge in a secluded part of the forest. Gabimaru's frustration grows. For the first time, he realizes that his strength may not be enough. Sagiri reassures him with calm determination. She firmly believes that they can overcome this island, but only if they accept their limits and adapt to what lies ahead. As night falls over the island, the danger only intensifies. The convicts, the Asaemon, and the mysterious beings all prepare for the challenges that tomorrow will bring. And in the distance, the Tensen gather in their temple-like sanctuary, discussing the unexpected arrival of intruders capable of surviving longer than expected. Unknown to them, the island has only begun to reveal its horrors. And the true threat is far greater than any of them imagine.